essential in economics research, and today we'll focus on the Harvard referencing method, which is widely used in our field. Let's start with why referencing is important. As Sir Isaac Newton put it, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." In economics research, we always build on the ideas of others. Referencing is how we acknowledge these contributions. It ensures academic integrity, allows readers to verify your sources, and most importantly, helps you avoid plagiarism. There are two main ways to incorporate sources in your research. First, quoting, where you copy the text exactly as it is and place it in quotation marks with the citation. Second, paraphrasing, where you rewrite ideas in your own words while still giving credit. The key takeaway, whether you quote or paraphrase, you must cite your sources. Harvard referencing has two parts, in-text citations and the reference list. The in-text citations appears in brackets, author, year, page. At the end of your paper, you must include a reference list with full details. Think of it like a receipt. It proves where you got your information. There are two ways to use in-text citations. You can either make the author part of the sentence, like Smith 2020 argues, or place the citation in brackets at the end. If you're quoting directly, always include a page number. Your reader should know exactly where your information comes from. Your reference list should be neatly formatted and alphabetized. Books, journal articles, and web sources all have different formats, so double-check before submitting your work. If your references are a mess, it makes you look careless, even if your research is great. Plagiarism comes in different forms. The most obvious is direct plagiarism, copying text without citation. Imagine taking a paragraph from a textbook and putting it in your paper as if it's your own. That's a big no-no. Then we have mosaic plagiarism, which is trickier. Let's say the textbook says, economic policies shape trade, and you write, trade is shaped by economic policies. The words are different, but the sentence structure is the same, and that's still plagiarism. Paraphrasing without citation is another common mistake. Even if you completely rewrite an idea in your own words, if it comes from someone else, you must cite them. Finally, self-plagiarism happens when you reuse your own past work, like submitting an assignment from last year again. That's not allowed either. Now that we know the types of plagiarism, how do we avoid them? The first step is taking clear notes. If you mix your own thoughts with a direct quote, you might later forget where the idea came from and accidentally plagiarize. Second, learn to paraphrase properly. For example, instead of writing, trade policies influence global markets, like your source does, you could say, the policies regulating trade have an impact on international commerce. Author, year. The structure and wording must be different, but the meaning stays the same. Finally, always double-check your citations. If in doubt, use plagiarism detection software. It helps catch accidental mistakes before you submit your work. Let's sum up. If the idea isn't yours, cite it. Follow Harvard referencing to format your citations correctly. Be mindful when quoting and paraphrasing. If you just swap a few words, that's still plagiarism. Finally, double-check everything before you submit. If you write, economic policies influence global trade, without citing, your lecturer won't know where that idea came from. But if you add Jones 2019, you're safe.